Hi everyone, welcome to Building Public with Jahid. Super excited to be back after a month. So we have been building a lot of features. So I was busy with them and launching those product launches and all these things. So now I'm back to Building Public with you. And actually, this one I want to start with how to ideate and how to build a mobile app. So let's actually I will walk you through the process that how I find a mobile app idea that actually makes money, and then I actually will show you how to go step by step on how to find a mobile app idea that actually makes you money. So we'll go today through the ideation process and how to ideate and how to actually find those nice ideas for mobile apps. And then we will try to build one of them with Newly. So super excited, and let's just follow me. And then, yeah, let's have a walkthrough of ideation and walk and building together with Newly. So I hope you're doing amazing. Follow me and let's just start building together. So I'm going to share my screen on how to ideate. So I think one of the main questions for every builder is that, okay, actually, how to come up, with nice ideas, how to come up with ideas that actually makes money. So for me, Claude is one of my, helping assistants, or, like it's a huge, assistant that actually I ideate, ask, questions, I debate with Claude, and then I actually find out the idea that actually matters to me a lot. So this is like, the prompt I give. So I just actually go to my, like Claude, new chat, back at it, Jahed, amazing. So let's just, like write this one. So what are the good B2B app ideas to build? If you have some interest in special industries, let's say health, well-being, financial, you can actually specific, say that, okay, I want to build something in the financial space. I want to build something in the health space. But if you don't have any specific industry interest, then you're actually just going to go as general as possible, as broad as possible. And then you actually find out the idea that you really like. So for me, I really like B2B mobile apps. The ones that actually businesses will actually use it, and then they will have an actual impact in their day-to-day life. And also I can earn money with having a subscription business there. So I'm looking for B2B mobile app ideas. Let's give it a go, and then let's see what are the ideas and how to actually validate those ideas together. So here are some ideas, productivity and operations, field services management, scheduling, job tracking, a smart inventory scanner, yeah, sales and CRM, um, HR, for example, yeah, like now we have lots of, categories, different, B2B angles, which we can actually focus on and then build something together. So I'm just gonna go through it. Sales, CRM, HR. Okay, okay, okay. Let's say that, could you please do some research on the market and how hard or easy are they to be built and market? Because I want to make money with building one. First here is, like you can actually prompt how you want, but for me, I'm just like, going to debate and, talk to AI, to Claude, actually, to find out the idea that actually makes sense for me to build. It's big enough, the problem is big enough to actually be built, something therefore. And then actually, I can make money by having this app there. But also I need to understand how hard it is to build and, how hard it is actually to market it, the space. I think here, we just actually get some data and then, like try to understand, what actually works here or not. So it uses, Anthropic API to actually do some deep research, and then I will show you what I do next after this part. So I hope you're following and you're also building something. So you can actually go now, open the Claude or ChatGPT or whatever AI tool that you like, just go do your research and like ask for ideas, and then like, we're gonna validate this idea in the second stage, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, now Anthropic is working Claude to actually get some data for me. So we are actually trying to find ideas which are data backed. So we actually have lots of data to see if it actually works or not, and if they're good enough to be able to build something for those ideas. So let's wait and then see how it goes. So here we see that, for example, the best bet for a solo builder is likely the AI expense tracker. So I'm gonna actually double down on that, and then we'll see. So I'm gonna say that I like the idea for AI expense tracker. Please tell me more about it and the market potential. So yeah, I just here, I choose the one idea, and then actually I go deeper. And I would like to, just have answers to some of the questions that I have. And then I'm like, okay, I have the conviction, I believe in this idea, and now I really want to build it. So let's go to new, and then we'll build it. But we still, need to time. You just like need to do some research. So I think here is important that you take your time. You do proper research, and you believe that this idea is gonna work, but also it's gonna be amazing app, and also you can actually make some money with this app idea if you really want to build it. So you can of course go and talk to people. Do interviews like user interview, expert interviews, where you actually talk to people on how to actually validate the idea. And if you wanted me to make a video on how to validate ideas, please drop in the comment, and then I would love to make a small lecture on how to validate idea, or a small content on how to validate ideas, and like having some slideshows on how we do it, and then I will just pitch that to you, and you will just get to know how I'm doing the validation process. I do it through going to Reddit, I do it with talking to users, I do it through survey, I make landing pages. So there are lots of several tips and tricks or methods on how to validate your business idea, and then you are good to go and build that. And then yeah, that's more better than just going and building something without having some validation or some early research and some data points. Amazing. So here is a full picture of actually, what's the AI expense tracking means. Imagine that at a company of 10 to 100 people, they have a finance person, but that finance person is so busy with lots of things, and for him or her, it's hard to track all expenses, and then you have a monthly report. So the idea is that like let's make his job easy. So actually, it's there's no bureaucracy. Like there's like lots of processes. Messing things up and all these things. So actually I'm gonna ask, for kind of some examples on what should be the features here on this app. So actually I understand how the app would look like. So I'm saying that thanks, please could you tell me what can be the killer feature here? Because I want to build the first version of this app. So what happens for me, I really want to focus on the first build. What's the one killer feature of my app? Because you can have lots of nice have, features. They're amazing, they're nice, but actually, what is the one thing that users are going to pay for your app? If it's not there, then actually no one will pay or no one will use the app. So you need to actually focus on what's the one killer feature of your app, and then build things on the top of that. So I really want to focus on that, and then actually, I'm gonna say this here. It is that like what's the one here. So receipt to field expenses in under 10 seconds. Okay. So this is the idea that actually, so you just screenshot the receipt, and then actually it fill in the information, and then it actually goes to the dashboard, so it actually track the expenses. Okay, this is good, this is nice. Okay, let's just actually leave here the Claude. So actually so I'm just like coming to Google, and then I find out Google Trends. So here actually I tried to search AI expense tracking, and then see actually is there people searching on Google about this, because I think here what we are doing is that we're actually looking at the Google numbers and seeing like what's the trend in Google, like do people actually search for such things, search for such an app. There's also an amazing tool called Ahrefs, Ahrefs. So this is more of like, yeah. So this is more of, an ACO thing. ACO means search optimization, tool, where actually, so you actually see on Google and ChatGPT and other tools that like, how many people are searching for what exactly you're building. So for example, how many people are, searching on Google for AI tracking, for expenses on Google, because they're looking for a solution. Yeah. So you actually want to match that search with what you're building. So you actually see the volume, how many people search, and that actually shows you what's the market potential, how big is a market for building such a tool. So I don't have access to this one because this is a paid tool, it's like quite expensive, but I have, this Google Trend is cheaper. You just go try it out and see actually what's happening here. So I'm going to put AI expense tracker. I just, do it, but also I'm trying to search in the US, because that's where actually it's a big market, people will actually pay. But of course, here you can actually choose your market, which market you want to choose, the country. So here we can see that, for example, let's track it in the past month. Actually, there's not much of, yeah. So it's like people search on May 6th a lot, but let's say, expenses, let's say. Okay, so expenses are like way more than AI tracking. So I think people, care a lot about their expenses. So let's say, um, expenses tracking. Let's go for this one. So yeah, like also gonna like tracking is really low, like it's like 1. So people care more about expenses than actually tracking it. Invoice. Let's search for this one. Oh, so we see actually, for example, people search a lot about how to invoice, all these things. So I think here we found that there's like, okay, people might not actually, this expense tracking might not be, the base keyword, but actually if you combine invoice plus expenses, then actually we can see that there's a huge volume here. You can see that 78 people, kind of search this one in total, or kind of maybe on average. So we can actually see it that, okay, it's trending, it's actually going outward. So people actually, try to, search invoices, maybe so they're actually like don't know how to make the invoice, or, how to actually, and the invoice, and then have it, or scan the receipt and not have a nice invoice, or, the dashboards. Actually, yeah. So we can see that. And then, of course, we can validate this idea much more, but it's really up to how much time you want to spend. But I think this is a very cool tool to see like what's the Google Trends, how people are searching, is something trending or not. And of course, if you use Ahrefs, then actually you can get more accurate volume number on, okay, how many people search AI tracking expenses app or something like that. So let's go back to Claude. So here we have, the idea here. So just let me say that, um, please give me the killer feature as a prompt, one sentence to give it to newly mobile app builder to vibe code it for me. So here, I also ask a prompt, for Claude to actually just give me this, and then just, yeah, like I would just like kind of copy paste this and then like give it to Newly and then see how it actually builds it for me. So let's go to Newly. Let's go to Newly now. So here we come to Newly. We give our prompt. So here we can actually give our prompt. So build a mobile app where users tap one button to open their camera, photograph a receipt, and then within 30 seconds, the AI automatically extracts the merchant name, this and this and this, and then save it. So let's give it a go. So I think this is good enough. So this is our app idea. So we actually, search, we ask, from Claude or other AI to actually find out what's a good idea to build. And of course, I did here a very quick search, a few minutes, but for you, if you want to build something, you just actually spend hours, you debate, you ask more questions, because you just need to find more data points to actually convince yourself that this is worth building, and also this is worth building and making money. So I wish that, yeah, you all take your time and then you just like do some research, validate, go check Google Trends, go check Ahrefs, go check on Reddit, on YouTube, or like on LinkedIn. Just ask people, what are trending, what's missing, like what you should build, and also like what you should build, which is different than other tools available in the market. So you actually need to do a bit of more research. And now we just let Newly to build the app for us, and we will see how it actually turns out to be. And if you have any app idea, just please let me know. I mean, I missed all of you, to be honest, just like across this last month. And I hope you guys are keep building. And of course, vibe coding might seem easy or hard, like for different people, it depends. But to be honest, it takes some time. So you just actually put your time, there. You do like your research. You actually, like try to learn how to use Newly or on other tools. So it actually, every AI has a personality. And you actually need to know, what's the Newly personality, how it actually works. You just, build an app, kind of you learn how Newly works. You actually like build the second one, the third one. So I really hope that you take your time, because building is a journey, it's a marathon, and you just need to take your time, and you need to keep running the whole marathon. And then the idea is like to reach the final, and then of course, like once you finish one hackathon, you marathon, not hackathon, you just start a new one. So just take your time, and just take it easy, and also like try to put your ideas in a structured way. And also, just take a break, sometimes, because this building process taking a lot of time. You just need to know what should be the design, what should be this button look like, what should be the title, what should be the name. So I think giving yourself enough time to think about it, but also build it truly, because if you want to have the app in the App Store and Play Store, it takes some days, it takes some weeks. Of course, you can have the working version of the app for yourself in a few minutes, 1 hour or so. But actually, if you want to put it in the App Store and Play Store, it actually takes some days and weeks. So give yourself a proper time, and then keep building, and then you will see the results for sure. So our Newly agent is working to build a backend and the front end for us, and actually we will see the app very soon. You can see the code here. Of course, you don't need to know how to code when using Newly, but if you want to see the code. And something that actually is very interesting is that most of the users, they really laugh that Newly actually gives you the ownership of the code, but also they can see the code, and then they can actually also influence and change the code if they want to. So I think this is an amazing feature of Newly, and I hope that you can actually, if you know how to code, if not, you can actually look at the code and then see and learn about what's happening in the background and actually how it's being built. So because that's just an amazing experience, to be honest, to have. So perfect. Our app is here. It's ready. And we can actually see that it's like we have the expenses here, like total for this month is 0. Of course, we have the camera here, but because my phone is there for like kind of like using as a camera, so I actually have the app ready, but I need to test it out, how it works. So maybe I can actually also add upload next to the camera. So we can also maybe upload the like receipt and then have the information in the invoice. So let's add that feature. Let's also make this app. Okay, let's also make upload as an option here. Uploading. So let's go. So yeah, we just actually, because I don't have access to my camera, so I just, add this upload feature to like actually test out the app, how it works. Then like we will see it. But of course, we can also change the design. We can work on that. But first of all, we just need to test out the app, how it works. And then if it actually does the work, and then we can actually go move on to the design, adding more features, nice to have or must to have features. But yeah, we could just kind of keep working on our app and then see how it works. And this app actually could make money because we could actually sell this, to companies. So, and then, companies gave this app access to all the employees. And then, for example, when they're going to a restaurant, imagine like you're working in a company and then you guys actually going for a trip. You're not paying for the airport transportation, for the lunch, breakfast. And sometimes it's hard to keep all the receipts, all the bills. So maybe you just want to take a picture in the app and then it actually already sends, all the information to the accounting dashboard. So you don't need to worry about if you're missing any bill or receipt. So I think this is quite useful and I would really use it myself because I do miss sometimes the receipt and it's hard, to actually, ask newly to send me the money back because I don't have the receipt, So, and it only works if you have a document for that. So I think this is quite useful too. And of course, you just need to build more features, make them design nicer, but also make the user experience very nice and easy. So actually, it's quite nice for user to use. So while Newt is working, I'm just gonna find a receipt, receipt. So let's say let's come here. Yeah, we can actually use this one to download it, so we can actually test it out and then see how it works. Perfect. Yeah, we have it here. Perfect. So we actually added kind of like another button to actually upload some like receipts. So if we just come here, we can see here, this is the upload one. So we can actually upload and then select this one. And actually AI takes, all the information here. So yeah, here you can see, actually took the name, the amount, and then date, and then actually like what it is, and then we can actually save it. And then yeah, so AI took all the information for us, and then we say save, and then like it has to save our expenses, and then that's how it actually works. And then we can just have it in our app. So yeah, and then of course we have new feature here. We can actually fix some errors with AI here. And this is how it works, the app, and then we just have it all here. So we can also change the food, transportation. Of course, it's food because new AI actually knows that it's a food bill receipt. So yeah, and then that's like how you actually build this app. So I hope that like you enjoyed this one. So I showed you how to ideate a mobile app idea, but also how to build it. So just go spend some time on how to ideate, but also how to validate your app idea, and just go at new and build it for you. So see you very soon with another video, and then let me know if you want any specific content that I should make. So yeah, see you all very soon and take care. Have a nice day. Good luck building.